finally have the 2022 Kia K5 GT. Not the GT line, the GT. This is a vehicle I've been wanting to do for a while since I did the Hyundai Sonata GT line, but I finally got this Kia K5 GT nonetheless, painted in this nice jet black color. The Optima nameplate, you know, they changed that name for the 2022 model year, I believe, for the States. It's always been called K5 overseas, so it's always been called K5 in Korea and whatnot. We just got it as the Optima, and I will be the first one to say I really don't like the name K5. Yes, it is different, but I kind of just like the name Optima because it actually means something, you know, to me, in my opinion. K5 is kind of like, you know, in my opinion. Like, what does that even mean? I just like the name Kia Optima better. But nonetheless, this is the 2022 Kia K5. I'm pretty sure you guys seen other videos and whatnot already of this vehicle, or just, you know, the Kia K5 in general. Nothing really changed, but this is a little different. It just looks a little better, being that this is the GT version with different wheels and a relatively different front. And coming to the front of the Kia K5, as you guys can see here, first thing you'll notice is the 2022 because they have this new Kia logo. The 2021 still had the older Kia logo. So for those who bought the, you know, Kia K5 when they first came, I'm sorry, you missed out. You didn't get the new badge. But of course, the star of the show, what really sets this car apart from the likes of the Honda Accord, the Nissan Altima, Maxima, and other variants and whatnot, is this lighting system. It is very different, and this is something you will notice when you see it on the road. The nice thing about it, this light is always amber on either trim. So if you get the lower trim, the GT line, or the GT, it will always be amber in color. I believe all trims come with LED fog lights as well, or LED lights in general. Coming to the side of the vehicle here, as you guys can see, this is relatively big. It does have a slope like a Honda Accord, if you guys look at it that way. Coming to the wheels, this GT is wrapped in Pirelli P0s, 245 40x19s for the front and the rear. I'm gonna have to knock Kia on this for not adding all-wheel drive, or rear-wheel drive at that, for the GT. The GT is only offered in front-wheel drive. If you guys want all-wheel drive, you have to go for a GT line. I think that was a big mistake because this vehicle has a lot of power. It's a lot powerful than my Optima. So if you guys aren't safe or you know, careful enough, you can spin these tires off the line. There's various videos out there that would show that if you guys are, you know, too heavy on the pedal, you can spin these tires. And, you know, it is a fun vehicle to do that in, but in a front wheel driven car, it's really not that, you know, necessary in my opinion. This vehicle just has too much power for the chassis. I really like the wheel design, two-tone, black and silver. Not too busy. They do have some gaps in between the wheel arches, so it should be easy to clean. As you guys can see, the new Kia logo in the, you know, in the center cap. Taking a look here at the brakes, you guys can see, I believe these are 6 pistons. They are pretty big. They do have a GT logo on the brake caliper. I'm not sure if these are 6 pistons or not, but they are pretty big. The rest of the proportion of the vehicle, you guys can see, first of all, Kia is still known, you know, for adding panel sunroofs, you know, just glass roofs in general. Most people wouldn't think that Kia does that, but when they see it, they're very, you know, surprised and whatnot. But as you guys can see, this silver garnish here flows throughout the whole vehicle. It wraps around the whole vehicle, around the trunk deck, and it goes to the other side. It gives you the illusion that the trunk is smaller because how far this silver garnish comes out, but the trunk is big, so guys, be mindful of that. You have a window, a small window for the front. The mirrors are, you know, bolted on the side of the door. This is a new, you know, platform. I'm not sure what the name of the platform, but the platform is different from my Kia Optima. Coming to the rear of the Kia K5 GT, this is where you will notice the biggest differences between the GT line, and any trim below the GT line. But this is where you can tell which vehicle is which. And first, I'm just go ahead and point out the quad exhaust. If you don't have quad exhaust, then you don't have a Kia K5 GT. Other K5s will come with a single exhaust or a dual outlet, I believe, on one side. So as you guys heard, it does sound pretty good. Has a little, some growl to it, but it's not too loud. You have some, fake air vents right there. They don't function or anything. They're just there for show. We have K5 badging right there, GT as well. And again, if you have the GT line, it will say GT line. GTs will say GT. I think Kia messed up by not bringing any sequential or LED turn signals to the K5. This is one thing I definitely have to knock them on, is not adding, LED lights or LED turn signals when everything else, and except the the reverse lights are LED. I really think it takes away from the look of the vehicle. But one thing I can say, thank you, Kia, for not putting the turn signals anywhere lower on the bumper. That's one thing I can say. So thank you, Kia, for not doing that. Now, just give us LED lights, full LED lights. If Nissan can do it, you can do it, Kia. Come on, give us LED lights. As you guys can see here, the Kia logo with your reverse camera for the rear, and the button right there, right next to the reverse camera to pop the trunk. It is hydraulically assisted. You guys can see, so this trunk looks like it could be about 15 cubic feet. As you guys can see, it does have 60-40 split, functionality, so you guys can fit a lot longer items in this vehicle. But relatively good sized trunk. Underneath, you do have a nice spare tire. Overseas, they give you a fix-a-flat kit, but here in the States and North America, we get a spare tire. So that's pretty nice. If you guys see my Kia Forte GT video, you guys saw that the trunk had a grab handle. Also, my 2020 Optima has a grab handle. And why they took the grab handle out for the K5, it's beyond me, but that's what they did. So now to close the trunk, you have to touch the paint. I know some people that probably wouldn't bother them a lot, but that's just a small tidbit. It's kind of like, you're going backwards. Why would you take away something so good that actually was useful? But that's what they did. I'm not sure if it was a cost-cutting measure. It shouldn't have been, because the Forte has it. But overall, for the outside of the Kia K5 GT, I am very impressed by the way it looks. They gave it quad outlet exhaust, so that's very nice. I'm just not too sold on the look, especially when it comes to the rear. I think they could have done the rear design, especially from the lighting, a little bit differently. That's one thing I can say. It's a reason why I don't give it a 10 out of 10. But other than that, looks pretty nice, and I think it looks a lot better than its competition. Okay guys, before we get into the inside of this 2022 Kia K5 GT, let's talk about this engine here. So the GT comes with 290 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque, which is a great power upgrade from, my Kia Optima. To go from 245 to 290 and 311 pound-feet of torque, that's a very meaty power jump right there. But again, that is a lot of power for what this vehicle's chassis and underpinnings can handle. So again, if you guys just step on it at the line, you can spin these tires. So just be mindful of that. This engine is direct fuel injected, which is where that ticking comes from. And again, it is turbocharged, so plenty power. You guys will have no issue with the power. A pretty peppy engine. You guys just got to be careful when you come off the line. If you want to spin the tires, go ahead and have fun with it, because you can. but just, you know, be mindful you're going to burn out your tires pretty quickly with this vehicle. That's going to do it for the outside and the engine of the Kia K5 GT. Now let's get into the inside. All right, before we hop into the inside of this 2022 Kia K5 GT, let's take a look here at the door panel here. As you guys can see, some soft touch, nicely padded injection molded plastic right here. This right here is hard touch. It's a faux wood trim right here, but it looks pretty nice with some nice silver garnish that breaks up that black. This area right here is nice and padded in leather with some red stitching that goes all along the door panel. This area right here is also nice and softly padded with your window controls right there. One touch down for the front and one touch down for the rears as well. So one touch for all four windows actually. So one touch up and down for all four windows. So that's very nice. Got some piano black plastic trim right here, which I am not a fan of because it's actually, in my opinion, they shouldn't have put this right here because this is where you're going to touch. So it's going to leave a lot of fingerprints and dust. So guys, be mindful of that. It does have a 10-speaker Bose audio system rather, which should sound pretty good. Bose is known for making pretty good audio. But as you guys can see here, this is a sedan, so it does have a very low step-in height. But it's not actually that bad. I didn't have to duck my head too low, even though this roof does have a slope to it. We're closing the door here. I guess that's an advantage to putting this right here, but again, it's piano black plastic, so you're gonna be touching this to close the door. And as I close the door, nice and solid sounding, no rattles or shakes throughout the door, so no complaints there. But taking a look here at the interior of this 2022 K5 GT, as you guys can see, it is pretty nice, nicely equipped. Very nice seating. Seats feel pretty nice. Nice interior materials and quality and pieces. Just very nice all around. Here, taking a look at the dash. As you guys can see, some soft touch injection molded plastic here. It is hard, but if you press it hard enough, you can sink your fingers into it. Some more of that faux wood material right here as well. Just hard touch plastics, just looks like wood. Some more of that silver garnish that flows across the whole dash. And also some more silver garnish right there. Your air vents and whatnot. This vehicle does not have a heads-up display. This is hard touch plastics right there. And again, no heads-up display, so be mindful of that. Some more of that faux wood that, you know, kind of connects with your door panel right here. You have a tweeter up here. You have two-person memory seating, which is nice. Taking a look here at the steering wheel, you have your, you know, new Kia logo in the middle with some silver garnish around that. The horn, very loud, no complaints there. On the right side of the steering wheel, of course, you have your steering controls with your steering assist and your distance marker and cruise control and whatnot to set your cruise control. This button right here controls the middle portion right there, which is a 7-inch in size. The Kia K5 does not offer a digital display. If you guys want digital display, you have to go for the Hyundai Sonata. I'm not sure why Kia didn't opt to put the digital display in the K5, but I hope they change that for an update soon. The left side of the steering wheel, you have your phone and volume controls, of course. No piano black plastic on the steering wheel, so Kia actually was listening and they actually decided to put some, you know, not too shiny plastic on the steering wheel, which gives it a better look, honestly, in my opinion. This steering wheel is leather wrapped. It does have it is a heated steering wheel as well, so you guys have a heated steering wheel. This flat bottom is more flat than what I showed you guys in the K5 in the Forte GT rather. So the steering wheel is a little bit more flat. Different design as well. You have this opening right here where you can rest your fingers and whatnot, and GT logo right there. Continuing on to the left side of the steering wheel, you have your illumination controls. I'm not sure if the K5 has ambient lighting. I'll be sure to check that in a second. You have your lane keep assist right there, and you have your traction control button right there as well, and a button to open the trunk. Taking a look here at these seats, as you guys can see, these head restraints come up a little high. They do have a good amount of adjustability, so that's pretty good for any taller people. As you guys can see, GT embroidered on the back of the seat. This is the GT1 package. I'm not sure if the K5 is, if you can option it for a GT2 package, but nonetheless, you guys can see some red piping here. Very nice seats, very comfortable, very comparable to the Forte GT. I would say the Forte GT feels a little bit better though, because of the way they designed the seats. So actually, when you sit in the seat, it actually feels a little bit different. If you guys have ever sat in a Kia Optima, the previous model, 2020, 2019, you'll probably feel the same way in this K5. The glove compartment is damped, but it's not lined with felt. Pretty nice in size. Again, you could probably fit a 13 or 14 inch laptop and iPad in here. Very deep, very nice. Taking a look here at the center armrest. Very nice and padded area right here. It's very deep, very wide. You have one USB port in there. Right here you have your wireless phone charger. You can just tuck your phone in right there and it'll start charging in about 2 seconds. You guys can see that. It isn't rubberized like it was in the Forte GT, but at least it sits upright and it holds your phone in place so it doesn't slide around. Right above that you have your heated and cooled seats control, which is very Stinger inspired, very nice. And as I said, you also have a heated steering wheel button right there. Your drive mode selector, you have your Sport, Sport Plus, and Custom. And you also have normal mode as well. In Sport Plus mode, the seats do tighten up a little bit. You'll probably feel it if you're a lot bigger person than I am. But the seats do kind of, bolster up when you put it in Sport Plus. Right above that, you have your auto hold control, a button to disable and enable your electronic parking brake right here. You have a button to view your camera. As you guys can see, it has a top-down view, not 360, but top-down view camera, which looks very nice, very high res, gives a lot of detail. Button to disable your parking sensors, so that's very nice. You have 2 cup holders, a lot of piano black plastic in this area, but not too much of an area you would touch a lot, so that's fine in my opinion. This shifter right here, I don't really like this shifter. It kind of feels weird. I think they could have went with a different design. You have to press the button to go into drive and reverse, of course. And putting the vehicle into reverse, you do have, your reverse camera with trajectory and sensors, and of course you have a top-down view to give you a better perspective. You can put this vehicle into manual shift mode, where you could use the shifter or the paddles, which this vehicle does have, which is connected to the back of the steering wheel. The wireless charging pad is not in this area. Again, it's right here, so be mindful of that. This is probably just for change and whatnot. You have 2 USB ports and a 12-volt power outlet right there. And take a look here at the HVAC controls. Kia still, is keeping the buttons and whatnot theme going on here, which I really appreciate. You have dual automatic climate control. Of course, you can have your own setting, and the passengers can have theirs as well, which is very nice. And above top, to start the show, you have this 10.25 touchscreen right here. The same system to what Kia is putting in their vehicles nowadays. If you guys are familiar with that, then you guys would know. The one thing I'm going to knock Kia on again is they're missing a tune knob. They could have put a tune knob somewhere. Where's the tune knob? So now I can't zoom in and zoom out with a tune knob, but it does have pinch to zoom functionality. So I guess that sort of makes up for it, but for me, I just kind of like to use a knob to zoom in and zoom out. I know a lot of people wouldn't, knock on that too much, because they probably don't know that you can actually do that with the tune knob, but you can, and it's there if you have one. But of course, this vehicle does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is not wireless for the bigger screens. If you want, you know, the wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, you have to go for the lower trim, I believe, the GT line, and the trim below the GT line. As long as the screen is smaller than this 10.25, then you're gonna have wireless, you know, CarPlay, Android Auto. So guys, I did a little digging through the menus and whatnot to try to find a setting for the ambient lighting if this vehicle had it, but unfortunately it does not, which is another thing. I'm not sure why Kia decided to, you know, take that out, because ambient lighting is actually a big thing these days. You can actually really appreciate it once you get used to it. And I say that because my Optima has ambient lighting. It's not a lot, and it's not Mercedes-esque or anything like that, but it does have it. But you know, the K5, for what it is, this price point, and the 22 model doesn't have it at all. Just a few things that I just, you know, just don't appreciate about this K5 compared, you know, to previous generation Optimas and whatnot. The theme is still the same with the map on the side, and you know, this purple display that's not interchangeable, you know, but it's a touchscreen, very quick to respond, so no complaints there. But that's going to do it for the front of the Kia K5. Let's hop into the rear and let's see what we got back there. And now we're in the rear of the K5 GT here. As you guys can see, the same deal of materials on the door. This seems to be hard touch plastics up top, so it is different from the front. This is that, you know, faux wood and some more of that silver garnish trim right here. Some more of that piano black plastic trim, which will get a lot of fingerprints and dirt on it and whatnot. This area is nice, soft, and padded. Small window right there. And the rest of the interior is very spacious, very, you know, comparable to my Kia Optima. It seems to be a little bit more spacious though, to be honest. It's very comfortable. I have a lot of room underneath the front seat for my feet. This is my seating position, and as you guys can see, I have a ton of space, no issues at all. That seat is adjustable in many different ways, so even if that's not my seating position or I'm uncomfortable, I can always change it, and I will still have a lot of room for my knees and also under the seat. As you guys can see, 2 map pockets for the rear on the back of both front seats. We have some rear air vents with some more of that silver garnish right there. 2 USB ports and a nice fold down armrest right here. Very Kia Hyundai Genesis-esque. And as I said, 10 speaker Bose sound system right there with your, you know, subwoofers and whatnot on the back. Panel sunroof that comes just above, you know, my legs right here. Doesn't come all the way back over my head, but headroom isn't compromised at all in my opinion. I'm 5'10" and I have a lot of head space. It is a black headliner. It's not that cheap feeling, you know, in some other vehicles. It's not suede or anything, but it doesn't feel cheap either. But other than that, guys, nothing too special about the seats and whatnot. They feel very nice. As I said earlier, I think the seats in the Forte GT feel a little bit better just by how they are designed. But would I still upgrade from an Optima to a K5? I'm just not sold on the K5 yet. I think for it to be an upgrade, I will have to go to a Stinger, which they are discontinuing the Stinger, so that's a bummer. But that's gonna do it for the interior of the Kia K5. Let's hop outside and get another walk around. All right, guys, this is Kiaguyjoe here. That's gonna do it for this 2022 Kia K5 GT. Overall, I am impressed. There are little things that Kia could change as far as additions, mostly. Will they rectify that in an update? Who knows? It is a good power bump. That's pretty much everything it has to it, in my opinion. Other than that, I don't see a reason to update or upgrade from an Optima, in my opinion, to the K5. That's just me. You guys may have a different opinion. You guys let me know what you think about this vehicle in the comments below. But if you guys like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support that you guys have been showing me. But again, this is Kiaguyjoe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.